The Vanishing Nurse, London, 1975. In the bustling heart of London, young nurse Lucille Carter vanished without a trace after finishing her night shift at St. Mary's Hospital. The last known sighting placed her walking toward the bus stop at 3:30 a.m., but she never made it home. Days later, her handbag was discovered near the River Thames, prompting a frantic police investigation. Detective Alan Forrester takes the case. Seasoned detective Alan Forrester of Scotland Yard took charge of the case. With no immediate leads, he meticulously retraced Lucille's last steps. Witnesses were scarce, but a taxi driver reported seeing a distressed woman matching Lucille's description, arguing with a man near the embankment. The police soon discovered that Lucille had recently ended a relationship with Dr. Richard Graham, a respected but reclusive physician at the hospital. Colleagues described their relationship as tumultuous, with Lucille confiding in friends about Richard's controlling behavior. A break in the case. Forrester's instincts told him Richard knew more than he admitted. A background check revealed a chilling detail. Richard's previous fiancée had drowned under mysterious circumstances 5 years earlier, a case that had been ruled accidental. Digging deeper, Forrester searched Richard's home and found a blood-stained scarf hidden in his closet, later confirmed to belong to Lucille. However, without a body, the evidence remained circumstantial. The undercover sting. Determined to crack the case, Forrester devised a plan. He had an undercover officer pose as a journalist investigating Lucille's disappearance. Richard, known for his arrogance, agreed to speak. As the conversation turned to Lucille, the officer casually mentioned the river's water level dropping due to construction. That night, Forrester and his team set up surveillance at the Thames. Just as predicted, Richard arrived with a flashlight, attempting to retrieve something from the riverbank. He was arrested on the spot. Justice served. Further searches uncovered Lucille's remains, wrapped in a hospital sheet weighted with stones. Faced with overwhelming evidence, Richard confessed. He had confronted Lucille over their breakup, and in a fit of rage strangled her before disposing of her body. Dr. Richard Graham was convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison. Detective Forrester's patience and tactical brilliance had solved a case that nearly went cold, ensuring justice for Lucille Carter. The Silent Witness, a chilling discovery in Chautauqua Lake. On a cold November morning in 1982, a fisherman in Lakewood, New York, cast his net into the dark waters of Chautauqua Lake. As he pulled it up, expecting his usual catch of bass and perch, something heavier resisted. Moments later, a bloated, lifeless body surfaced, face down, arms limp. The local authorities arrived within the hour. Detective James Holloway, a seasoned investigator known for his sharp intuition, stood by the lake, hands in his trench coat pockets, watching the coroner examine the body. The victim, a young woman in her late 20s, had no identification, no visible injuries, and no immediate signs of foul play. But Holloway knew better. The first puzzle was the victim's identity. No missing persons report matched her description. Her fingertips were smooth, the prints deliberately erased. Holloway suspected she had been killed elsewhere and dumped in the lake, possibly to destroy evidence. The only clue was a small pendant around her neck, a silver locket with an engraving, "To ML forever in my heart." Holloway took it as a starting point. He sent the locket to a jeweler and began canvassing local hotels, hoping she had checked in before her disappearance. It wasn't until 3 days later that a breakthrough arrived. A hotel clerk at the Windermere Inn, quiet lodge just outside town, recalled seeing a woman. She had checked in alone 2 nights before her body was found. She paid in cash and used a false name, Mary Langford. Surveillance footage showed her entering the hotel, carrying a suitcase. But something was off. She looked over her shoulder as if being followed. Then, there was another man in the footage, a tall figure in a dark coat, waiting outside in the rain, watching her window. Holloway traced the pendant engraving and found that it was purchased 6 years ago in Boston. It was bought by Andrew Calloway, a wealthy real estate developer. When questioned, Calloway turned pale. "She was my wife," he admitted. "Margaret Leland. She disappeared 6 years ago." But that made no sense. How could a woman who disappeared 6 years ago turn up dead now in a town she had no connection to? Holloway dug deeper and uncovered something shocking. Margaret hadn't just vanished. She had run away. She had fled from an abusive marriage, faked her own death, and started a new life under an alias. But someone had found her and killed her. A forensic search of her hotel room uncovered a partially burned letter in the trash. It read, "I know what you did. Meet me at the docks, no police." Holloway believed the man in the surveillance footage was her killer. But who was he? A break came when a local bartender recalled seeing Margaret arguing with a man in a dark coat just a day before she died. A composite sketch was made, and Holloway sent it to nearby police departments. 2 days later, he got a call. The man in the sketch was Daniel Grayson, a private investigator. Holloway found Grayson holed up in a motel outside Buffalo. When confronted, he tried to run, but after a brief chase, he was caught. Under interrogation, Grayson cracked. "I was hired to find her," he confessed, "by Andrew Calloway. He wanted her back, or wanted her dead." Grayson admitted to tracking Margaret down, but he swore he didn't kill her. He said she panicked when she saw him, and the last time he saw her, she was alive. That meant there was someone else. Holloway went back to Calloway. He noticed something strange. Calloway wasn't surprised by his wife's death. He wasn't grieving. He was relieved. A financial search revealed the truth. Margaret was never dead, but her death allowed Calloway to collect her life insurance, $2.5 million. If she was alive, that money had been fraudulently obtained. Holloway dug deeper and discovered that Calloway had recently made a large payment to an unknown account. A deeper analysis traced it to a contract killer, known only as Vincent Reeves. A stakeout was set up at a train station where Reeves was spotted boarding. The second he saw Holloway, he tried to run, but Holloway was faster. With Reeves in custody, the truth unraveled. Calloway had hired him to kill Margaret to ensure she never revealed the insurance fraud. Calloway was arrested, along with Reeves. Both were convicted of murder. Margaret Leland had tried to escape her past, but it had caught up to her. Standing by Chautauqua Lake, Detective Holloway looked at the calm waters. The town had its peace back. And for Margaret, at last, there was justice. Would you like more stories like this? Dorothy Arnold walked into New York City on that cold December day and was never seen again.